Good evening, journal, and to all that have chosen to come and listen here to my soul whispers. Again, it's really random, so I hope you enjoy it. This is really for me, but if it helps you, well, doggone it, all the more. So, random moment. I was sitting here, I am in the garage. I hope this light is probably going to pop off and I have to stand up again so it pops back on. But I just wanted to share about me sitting here, and I was going over some of the day's activities, just basically reflecting, if you will. And in my reflection, I started to think, okay, you know what? This is really good. I got some good stuff out of it. But there was the part that really stood out to me. And that part was I wanted to just sit back and just have fun in my imagination about the next day and the day after. But the next day, in the next moment. And remembering who it is that I am. We all have the idea of that person that we wanted to be or want when we were young, and who we are as opposed to who we are now, and where we want to be now as opposed to where we are now. And I was thinking about more details though, because I want to feel it too. It does something to the reality. So I thought, well, I started asking myself questions like, okay, so that higher vibrational, that higher version of me that I am somewhere out there, those versions of me, but the higher one that I'm seeking, what is she like? What kind of person is she? And what does she do? How does she behave? What does she like? What does she listen to? What does she focus on? Excuse me. But what are they, So it got me to just thinking, every time I focus on that version of me, she's like this multi-millionaire version of me. She's super wealthy, not just within, but even financially. But she's super passionate and she attracts a lot of love because she gives so much unconditional love. So I'm just like, okay, what are those ways that I could do that? But what's her behavior? Is this something that is easy for her, something that is forced upon her, that became her? What is this? And I noticed, just like even in my dreams, when I see her in my dreams, I've even like seen her in my dreams, that version of me where people are ridiculing her because she doesn't believe like the same things they do. She doesn't fall for the same things they do, and whatever she did, she got ridiculed. And it was a lot of people. It was definitely some national thing because everywhere she went, there was people ridiculing her. But she kept her ground. She was unmoved and she was focused. Her heart was so much so that she stood by the love that she gave. And she had no ill will towards anybody. She could see the looks on their faces. She could hear what they're saying, but their energy in those words had no power because her auric field was so well protected. She was so masterful at being present and understanding that she didn't feel the hurts that were being hurled at her. It didn't penetrate her. She was so present. And that's what I've learned. I was sitting here going over those things, asking questions, and came to that. And I was like, I got to get my phone. And the same with this, when I think about this version of her, of Daniela, that I want to be. She is, she's very focused because she's present, but it's a joy for her to be present. That's why she stays present. But it also helps to stay present because she is being careful of her thoughts. She's being a watcher of her thoughts. And so she's got to make sure that she's always aware, present of her thoughts, and that they're slowed down so that she can keep her thoughts and her mind clear and not have all this excess weighing her down. So she's very poised because it's natural, because she's light, so light. That's who this Daniela is. Now, how can I become her when I'm nothing like that? If you were to say like right this moment, the best way I can do that, I'm believing, is to go back to my childhood and what we used to do when I would be with my friends and pretend play. And so we would play house or something, and we would all be outside, and we had woods surrounding our homes. And so we'd take a lot of pine trees and pines and stuff, and we'd take the branches with the brush on it and all the leaves, and we'd sweep the floor of the forest floor, making rooms around trees and everything. This is the living room. This is the kitchen. This is the dining room. This is having fun with it. And, but in our pretending, we're pretending. So in order for us to be that character, we had to pretend. We had to put ourselves into that character to become that character. So that's what I'm doing now, is like I'm learning these things about this version of me that I desire to be, that I already am, that even though I don't see it, I know that I am her. But it helps me to know where I need to focus more on being present, which that's actually happening more and more naturally because it's such a desire for me. But at the same time, it's not something to, not pay attention to and ignore. So I think for me, I'm just going to pretend that I'm her. And I'm going to pretend to act. Like, how would she act? How would she react to things? Is she going to react to things? Or how would she respond to things? These are the things that I want to really sit back and kind of, I guess, rehearse certain situations, especially those situations that are difficult situations for me that I feel like I fail in every time. That would be even like arguing with my mom, like getting angry or something like that, and slightly raising my voice or being a little short, shit, that happens. I'm a mom too. But I don't want that to be a shit that happens, even though it does, but it doesn't have to. And this version of Daniela, she is very compassionate. She doesn't have all that inner jargon about her mother anymore. So I'm going to have to pretend to be that. And just sit back and rehearse. Have fun rehearsing. How am I going to respond in certain situations? And have fun coming up with different scenarios. That's how I have fun. And that's what I'm going to do to be that I am. And so that's pretty much it. love and light, unconditional love. And may this vlog help you as well. In whatever way, thank you for visiting. Blessed be.